Hey, Susie.
Hello, guys.
How's it going? Is there anything you want to say or highlight before we get into the questions?
Not much. Let's go through the questions. See, I think usually the questions cover all the points we want to discuss anyway.
Okay, perfect. So we've got Samir on stage who's going to kick it off. So, Samir, do you want to go ahead?
Yes, thank you very much, CZ. It's a pleasure to have you here. A quick question. Binance recently left Canada, and you've made a statement about it, and that Canada is your country where you spend a lot of your life. Uh, when does Binance plan on coming back to Canada, or what are prerequisites of Binance coming back to Canada? I know that it's a very regulated space. Like, what do you see changes before Binance comes back to Canada? Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for the question. So yeah, I lived in Canada for 10 years. I grew up there, went to high school, university there. I'm still Canadian. Well, I'm Canadian citizen, so I love it. As a place to live, grew up, etc. On crypto, though, I think Canada was a bit unfortunate. There was Quadriga CX, which I think the founder at least had a death certificate from India, and then user money was lost. So there was a lot of pressure on the regulators to do something. And then I believe last year FTX was kind of the nail on the coffin. So the regulators were pushed to be strict about how to operate there. But it's strict to the point where you have this is the information I learned from our team, which when I'm paraphrasing here, I may or may not be technically or legally correct. But my rough understanding was we have to use a third-party custodian. We have to put 100 million Canadian dollars in a escrow of some kind. So we can't even use our own custodian service, which we believe is the most secure. We spend the most money on our custody infrastructure. We have to rely on some other third party, which are smaller than us. So I wouldn't name them, but all the third party custodians are custodian technology providers are smaller than us. They're less tested. So we view that as a higher risk, not less risk. But we couldn't convince the regulators. The number of tokens allowed are low, and a number of other reasons. So, but net, our team did the detailed analysis. We don't think there's a viable business to be done. So basically, in order to fulfill all of those regulatory requirements, we cannot use our current products. We'll have to build something new. That's something very customized and something that probably well, we view that operationally will be very expensive. And I think there was a news article today about Bybit exiting Canada. I think OKCoin left Canada a couple of months ago. There's 3 or 4 local exchanges in Canada that consolidated, merged together. So I think we are seeing the industry changing in anticipation to the new regulatory environment. So, but look, as I said earlier, we got to understand this in context. So, unfortunately, with Quadriga CX incident, with people losing money there, and then also FTX was not. So we offboarded Ontario users like a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, or something like that. And then so users went to other platforms like FTX, etc., which were not asked to offboard, and then people lost a lot of money there. So it's a bit unfortunate, and we are we are for so the players that survive, the good players are actually having a hard time now, or either being overly regulated or punished for it. So, but it is what it is. I do hope Canada will turn back. If I would expect in a couple of years. We've seen similar less extreme things in other countries, right? So Japan started adopting crypto regulations in 2017. They were the first ones to offer regulatory clarity, but they also had fairly strong limits on number of coins being able to list it on crypto exchanges. But now they're loosening it up. So now, a few years ago, we were not there, and then now we have Binance have a license to go back to Japan. We're launching that in late June, early July. So that's a Japanese exchange. In Thailand, we got a criminal warning 2 years ago. Now that case is closed, and we obtained a license in Thailand. So things change. So over a couple of years, I think we will continue to monitor, we'll continue to engage from a regulatory advisory perspective, and hopefully things change for the better, and we'll be able to come back.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks, Samir, for the question.